Hello, dear students of BA Part 3rd English Literature. In this video, I am going to explain the poem Dover Beach as prescribed in your syllabus in section A. Dover Beach is the poem composed by Matthew Arnold, and this poem was first published in 1867 in the collection New Poems. The title, locale, and subject is the shore of the English ferry port of Dover in France at the Strait of Dover, the narrowest part of the English Channel. As you can see on your mobile screen, this is the geographical location of Dover Beach. This poem was composed by Matthew Arnold, and Matthew Arnold was born on 24 December 1822 and died on 15th April 1888. As you can see the natural picture of Dover Beach on your screen, and now we are going to know something about the writer Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold was born on 24 December 1822 at Middlesex in England and was died in 15th of April 1888 at the age of 65 at Liverpool in England. As regarding his occupation was Her Majesty's Inspector of Schools. His nationality was British and he belongs to Victorian period. The genre in which he had written poetry was poetry that is literary, social and religious criticism. He was an English poet and a cultural critic also. His notable works are Dover Beach, The Scholar Gypsy, Thersis. In criticism, he wrote some prominent works like Cultural and Anarchy, Literature and Dogma. Officially, he belongs to Victorian era, and this poem, Dover Beach, has the theme of loss of faith and certainty. Now we will read the summary of the poem Dover Beach. In this poem, the speaker is the poet himself, and the speaker looks out upon a calm sea and observes the fullness of the tide and the moon reflecting on the water. So, this is the opening image in which the speaker is calmly looking at the sea and observing the fullness of tide and the moon reflecting on the water. Looking across the English Channel, the speaker sees the lights of the French coast fade away, while the cliffs of the English coast stand tall and bright, and the bay seems calm. Suddenly, the speaker addresses someone else and implores, means requests, this person to come and look at what the speaker is looking at and to enjoy the night's pleasant air. The speaker senses something is not quite right and describes the spray where the water meets the moonlit land. The speaker instructs the other person to listen to the sound of the pebbles as the waves shift them back and forth, up the beach and down again. So, here you can notify that this is a pure natural image, and the speaker wants to address the reader to feel the natural beauty there. The speaker notes this slow repeating action and identifies it with eternal sadness. All of a sudden, the speaker thinks about the ancient Greek playwright Sophocles and imagines Sophocles hearing the same sadness in the Aegean Sea as the speaker hears now on the English coast. Sophocles, in the mind of the speaker, likens the sad sound of the waves to the general sorrow of humanity, which moves like the waves. As I have told you earlier, that this poem has the theme of loss of faith and certainty. The speaker then notices another thought that comes with the sound of the sea. Explaining this next thought, the speaker describes religious faith as a sea that was once full like the tide. At that time, it reached around the earth like a girdle, like a belt. Now, though the speaker just hears that sea's sad retreat, as the sea of faith becomes smaller, says the speaker, it disappears into the atmosphere and leaves the edges of the world naked. The speaker suddenly addresses the companion as love and states desperately that the two of them need to treat each other with honesty and authenticity. This is because the world, though it has a dreamlike quality of variety, beauty, and newness, doesn't actually offer joy, love, or clarity. Neither, claims the speaker, can it provide certainty, peace, or relief from pain. The speaker then compares their collective situation to standing on a flat and dark piece of land, which is caught up in the chaos of fighting. Here, battles between unknowing groups continue under the cover of darkness. So, students, this is the summary of the poem Dover Beach, and in our next video, we will going we are going to explain the poem and critically analyze the poem Dover Beach. So, that's all for today. Thank you all.